I am at Tondu station in South Wales, and something you might notice if you ever come here is that there is a line that seems to cross over through the station that is entirely disused. And to my knowledge, the disused railway line going that way actually eventually links up to a path that walks alongside it, and yeah, most of the stuff on the line is still in situ despite the fact it's all abandoned, which is fairly rare in this country. So, I mean, I hope you can walk down it because I've taken a 3-hour journey to get here, so yeah, let's just go. So today I'll be walking to Pontycymer. I think it's about a 6-mile walk from here at Tondu station. I do have to walk about a mile though until I can actually get to the bit of the disused line that links up with the path. So I'll just try and get there quickly. So the bit of disused railway I'll be following today is disused from Tondu to, is it Garw? I think it's pronounced Garw, something like that. Although I'll be only going to Pontycymer because, the pathway from here only goes to Pontycymer. Because they've refurbed and reinstated a tiny bit at Pontycymer, where the station was there, as like some sort of heritage rail thing. So the line hasn't seen any trains since 1997, as far as I'm aware. Although it was actually close to passengers over 4 decades before then, in 1953. But yeah, close to goods in 1997. Oh, look at this, we're about to go under it now, in fact, in this little tunnel. So this is the village of Bryn. Whoops, sorry, I did not see that second N there when I was there. It's actually Bryn, not Bryn. Sorry. Which actually has another disused line going through it, although that other line was closed in the early 60s, so there isn't really much left in the way of remnants, apart from, you know, the fact it's just a cycle walking path now. But here already, look, we've got an abandoned level crossing. There's an old bridge that I'm pretty sure, I can't quite see from here, but I'm pretty sure it will still have like tracks on it, because I mean there's tracks still in the road here, and they've got the old barriers still in place. Oh, I'm loving this already, and we're not even at the main meaty bit yet. Alright, so welcome to the Bryn Country Park. We do have to cut through here to actually get to the disused railway. And I am following Google Maps directions, so, you know, doesn't really have all of the paths labelled on it, but I hope it's accurate enough that I can find it. So how did I even find this thing? Well, I found it basically looking boredly one day at the new Adelstrop Railway Atlas that you can find online. I'll probably link it in the description somewhere. If I don't, shout at me in the comments. But yeah, I was looking at it just one evening and I saw that there was a line out of use, which means like track's still in situ, everything's there, but you know, nothing goes down it. And I looked on Google Maps and I saw there was a path near it. So I was like, hey, I should look at that. And on top of like trains and everything, I've always been fascinated by like urban decay. You know, like just things that have been abandoned and left and just slowly being reclaimed by nature. There's something just very oddly fascinating about it all. So I'm just kind of drawn to things like this. I think that might be it, you know? All that fencing there, that might be the beginnings of the bit of the railway line we can follow. I have just seen people cycling on the other side. I think the other side is where I'm trying to get to. The only bridge available to me right now is this fallen tree. Yeah, I can't see any other ways over. I might actually have to try and walk over that fallen tree to get to the other side. It's times like this I really wish I had a GoPro, because I want to be able to use all of my arms to be able to balance. Okay, just walk, be confident, don't hesitate, don't look back, and grab that. Hello guys, GeoWizard here. Let's try and fit through this. And I made it. Woo-hoo! Nice, all right. Okay, now, I think this is where I want to be. Easy. Not a sweat broken. Well, either way, I've made it. Here we are. There is the disused railway track, all in the undergrowth. And now we can follow this all the way to Pontycymer, I believe. Yep, here we are. Old tracks and sleepers. For presumably about 4 miles, I think. Although in more recent times, there has been a preservation group that has reinstated a station at Pontycymer. And as you know, it's got like a station there, platforms and tracks and a few old heritage trains there. And what they're hoping for is eventually for it to be entirely reinstated all the way to like Tondu or something, meaning this would all become heritage railway. So, you know, this might not be here. Soon, this might actually be operational again. But for the time being, it is a path you can just walk beside it. So a bit more detailed history as to this line. So this line was of course originally opened in the 19th century, as well, most lines are in this country, and was closed to passenger services in 1953, and then was first properly closed in December 1985 when the Ocean Colliery in Garw was closed, although it did reopen briefly in the 1990s, which was to take all the spoil from there back, get out of there. And the last train that ran along this line was in 1997. So since then it has been reclaimed by nature. What I'm very interested to see though is if there's any like abandoned signals or signage or anything like stop, look, listen, beware of trains, which that'll fascinate me for sure. Or probably what the best thing would be is if there's any like abandoned level crossing lights or something. I know there are some in Tondu. Unfortunately though, it's the other side of Tondu where, you know, you can't walk down the line. But there is a set of level crossing lights there, but yeah, again, it's the wrong way, unfortunately. Oh, hello, we got a bridge here. Nice looking bridge. Hello. Echo. Yeah, echoes very nicely. Still, abandoned railway right here. So, judging by this bridge then, I take it that this was once a double track railway that has been singled. So like, the footpath here essentially follows what was the second track before it was lifted, whenever that was. I do really need to get a bit of a move on though, because it's currently 2:20. I was hoping to be at Pontycymer by 3, and I've currently still got 1 hour 13 left of the walk. So, yeah, I should probably pick up the pace a little bit. Hang on a second, is this a former level crossing? It could be. Let's see, let's check the other side. Is there any like barrier remnants or something? Here we are, a board. What does it say on the other side? Yeah, there we are. It's a stop, look, listen. Look at that. Very nice. And look, a bridge. Another bridge. And looks like the tracks have been lifted from that bridge there, but still. Yeah. All of this just right here. Oh, there's one of these things. What are those? I've seen those before on railways. I don't know what they mean though. So I did do some looking on Google Street View before I came here, and as far as I'm aware, there is an abandoned level crossing coming up here. Although the last time the Street View was updated was 2011, so there's all a chance it's like insanely overgrown compared to when that Street View was taken. Here we are, look, you've got abandoned tracks, and I think we've got abandoned signals here, and there's an abandoned, what is this thing here? Power box or something. I don't actually know what that is. Someone will have to tell me. But yes, I've been killing to see something like this for so long. Yeah, well, I'm very happy I've come across this. Wow, okay. Yeah, okay, oh, still, I've got like an hour to go until I get to Pontycymer, which is, oh God, I was hoping to be there at 3. It's 3 o'clock now. I've taken too long stopping off at places. Oh dear, I'm going to be very late for tea. You know what, how about I get a little bit of a jog on? Why not? A little bit of running never hurt anybody. Another abandoned bridge here, this time with the track still on it. And, oh, this isn't half dodgy, is it? Okay, there we go. Got another bridge here, and there's Highways Act 1980 signs that are on this bridge as well. That's funny. As far as I'm aware, the track here at least is actually still owned by Network Rail, because if you look at the, well, if you go up on that bridge there is actually still a sign saying, like, contact the rail authority in the event of a bridge strike. So, yeah, I'm assuming it is still Network Rail property. So, the safety of trains could be affected. The safety of what trains? There haven't been trains down here in 28 years. As far as I'm aware here, I believe this is actually the site of the former Pontycymer station. So, I mean, there's not really any remnant of the station left. The station building is now a private residence, and platforms seem to be long gone because, well, station closed in 1953. It was the line closing to goods in 1997. Imagine that though, like having a abandoned railway track basically in your back garden. That's so cool. But it really is surprising how rare, like, old in-situ track is in the UK, because most railways in the UK were closed, you know, in or before the 1960s. So, you know, you've got the overall decline of the railways, closing more lines, and then you've got the Beeching Acts. Pretty much everything from then is all ripped up and gone. So the only stuff where there really is any in-situ track left is stuff that was closed after the Beeching Acts. For instance, like freight lines that were decommissioned. Even rarer still is where, you know, you've got a public footpath that goes on the old abandoned railway. Because, you know, quite a lot of the old abandoned railways are still privately owned, and thus it's still, you know, you're not allowed to go on them. So having public footpaths be next to abandoned railway tracks is really not commonplace here. There's only a small handful I can think of. Yeah, I really cannot get enough of this. This is like... urban decay is so fascinating for some reason. Ooh, here we are. I think we've got another level crossing here. Yep, there it is. Stop, look, listen. For what trains, really? No signals to be seen this time, just some metal poles with nothing on them, but still, nevertheless, very cool. Anyway, I think this line has pretty much thrown most of what it can at me now, so let's power on through to Pontycymer. I'm saying that, and right in front of me I can see a warning, do not trespass on the railway sign, so I'll look at that first. There it is up there. Let's see. What does it say on it? It's another penalty £200 sign, though somebody's like drawn in the dirt on it to like say £200,000. That's funny. Still, it's so... How long ago was it changed from £200? I think it was 2002, right? When it was changed to £1,000 instead of 200. So, well, since this line closed in 1997, it makes sense why that's still there. Anyway, now let's power on to Pontycymer, shall we? I see, so the abandoned track here suddenly stops right here, and it doesn't seem to be anywhere over there now. So I'm assuming we're probably getting close to the bit that's been restored now. That'll be interesting to see. Yeah, there's some sort of thing on the track down there, whatever that thing is. So yeah, evidently some restoration work definitely has taken a hold here, and there's even a miniature tiny gauge track here. That is so cute. And well, that is where the path next to the abandoned railway comes to an end. That was really fun. Here is the platform that they've been able to construct here for what will hopefully be, you know, they're hoping basically to turn this into a nice heritage line that people can use. So we've so far got platform, a GWR bench and a sign for the Garw Valley Railway. So, how nice. The line does continue on to Lake Blangarw, but the path also continues, but the track there has been lifted. So, you know, not quite as interesting. So yeah, that was a pretty cool walk, if I do say so myself. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and it'll be interesting to see if this does actually get converted into a heritage railway. I'll be interested to see if it does. And yeah, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. And a massive shout out to my patrons and channel members who are listed on screen now, and a warm welcome to my new Standard Premium member, Rachel Quarrel. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel.